Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Rundown, episode number 149. I'm here with...
Hello, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster.
making his epic return to the Wrestling Rundown for the first time, I think, in like 3 weeks, I think. So, because he's been busy with school, work, and he went to Fastlane, and he had to take a bus to go to Fastlane because that's more important than doing the Wrestling Rundown. So,
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I'll tell you this much. The Wi-Fi on Greyhound effing sucked. So
yeah,
chances are if I did it with you, I would have been glitching the whole time.
yeah.
And I was not going to give you that burden.
Well, yeah, hey, it already happened once, so I wouldn't be. I'd be fine if if you let it happen again. So,
Well, you're the host, so there's more flexibility with you. Me, I would just be the guest. You would expect the guest to be able to handle their own technical difficulties.
same thing with the host, though. So,
Fair enough.
and then, but I'm Owen the Birdman Finch. I forgot to grab the belts. I'll grab them real quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you watch NXT party this week, you will know. No, I'm the first and only
Duel
champion on both shows.
Nice.
The NXT No DQ team predictions champion and the Wrestling Rundown predictions champion because I finally ended Chris's reign of terror. So.
Oh, you won Fastlane. Congratulations.
Yeah, I did win Fastlane. Yeah, Revival won me Fastlane. So.
Congratulations.
Yes. So since you're here, we'll make the announcement again. WrestleMania. Well, you obviously know what's going on for NXT. I might not have both belts for long because NXT NXT party is doing like their predictions for NXT takeover.
Yeah, it's you and the other four horsemen of No DQ NXT versus the official Team No DQ NXT team for your title.
And I think we're doing the same thing for Mania, they said, but I'm not exactly.
That is correct.
So I have to survive Mania weekend, basically. Same thing for the Rundown. It's me versus everybody on the Wrestling Rundown. So
oh, good grief.
Yeah. So
you're a target.
If I could win I can win a takeover, but then lose at maybe I wouldn't lose a takeover and win it back at WrestleMania.
Okay,
so
worst case scenario, you win neither night. Best case scenario, you win both.
Yeah.
Middle case scenario, you win one. Either way, you got over 20 plus matches to prepare for. So good luck, my friend.
Yeah. Well, the worst case scenario is I could lose both of them too. Like.
Oh, I pointed that out, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we had to talk. Speaking of that, we had to talk about 205 Live, NXT UK, and regular NXT because for some reason we call it regular NXT because this is something unusual about NXT UK. So.
Go for it.
But yeah, let's start. You want to start us off with 205 Live?
Sure thing. So 205 Live, they're currently in pursuit of figuring out the next #1 contender to Buddy Murphy's Cruiserweight title, the champ currently on vacation. So this week we continue the tournament, and this week started off a little different versus normal parameters. Instead of Big Maverick giving you the rundown, K-pop, about this night's show and recap of last week, we actually got all 4 participants involved in tonight's show stating their case why they believe they will win this tournament and also go on to WrestleMania to win the Cruiserweight title. We start with Drew Gulak. Of course, it is business usual attire in the office, my preferred pick to win for a better 205 Live. He talks about how tonight we separate the men from the boys, the contenders from the pretenders, the victims from the victors. And then he brings up the past history, how he and Tony Nese, they already have faced each other one-on-one. They did in the previous tournament, and Drew Gulak won. And once again, he says, I will own him, because when you step up to me, you will tap out. So on that, we get his counterpart, his opponent, Tony Nese. Talks about that. It's not going to take his speed and strength, but to prove that he's the most dangerous man, his focus is going to be his biggest asset. Oh, excuse me, because Drew Gulak is the most dangerous man, and he knows that he cannot make mistakes because Drew Gulak will capitalize on it and will dissect him. Bottom line, he will not give up, and he will go on to WrestleMania to represent his hometown or state. I forget what he says. Only Lorcan, I hope this is not a one-time expedition, but he's part of the tournament still now. He says it's nothing personal, but Drake knew what he was going to get when he brought me into this brand, into this tournament. Cedric, he's athletic and experienced. He's been to the big stage, but he can be broken. So tonight, I snuff out the soul of 205 Live. And then finally, the man that Everyone thinks he's going to take it all and needs it all the most. Cedric Alexander, he talks about how he is a bad, bad man. And he sees Oney Lorcan one day owning the brand. But the road to WrestleMania and the title goes through him. He knows he's going to face a ton of lariats, a ton of chops, but the plan is to go back to Mania and reclaim what's his. So there you go. We have all 4 men because literally this episode was about just those 2 matches. Owen, based on all those promos, who did you feel basically was the most confident going in, and did you have a preferred pick?
What, like who's gonna win the whole thing, or just?
Both matches.
Well, as for I thought who was gonna win, I was still sticking with Drew Gulak to win the first match, just because of how intense his promo was, and even though I probably had a feeling Cedric Alexander was gonna win, I still really wanted Oney Lorcan to win. I really wanted to see him just take it all, but we'll get into that later on in like a couple seconds. But I really liked all these promos, though. I thought it was a different way to open 205 Live. At first, I thought when I saw Drew Gulak in his like Drake Maverick's office, I thought Drake Maverick would like took the night off or something. And then he was gonna leave. And he was gonna leave Drew Gulak like in charge for the night, but that's not what happened. But I liked all these promos. I think out of the ones I liked Drew Gulak the most because I just thought his was the most intense and most passionate. Because he wants to change the cruiserweight division around. So
or better, yes. And again, I am a huge advocate for Drew Gulak. He is one of my favorites on the 205 Live brand since its incarnation. And personally, I feel like if he's not going to get the title at some point, just push him up to main roster, at least put him mid-card. I would love to see him personally face Dan O'Brien. Chris brought up someone brought up on Twitter that they would love to see like Drew Gulak face Corneo. I thought that would be an incredible match, but I'm sure you all ranted about that last night under different circumstances. So I'll leave that there. So,
that would be for a different episode.
Yeah. Okay, so basically we go in the show, they do the intro. At least this intro I can understand. And then they show off the bracket. But then we also get word from Buddy Murphy via Instagram, who once again is vacationing in his hometown of Melbourne, Australia. So he basically congrats all the semifinalists, and he basically gives a bit of a rundown about each one. How he says that Drew, he's probably the best technician. Only he has yet to adjust, and he can relate to that. As you all remember, Buddy Murphy took a long time to adjust to 205 Live. Now he owns it. Tony Nese, he talks about how he's the blueprint of what a cruiserweight should be. And Cedric, he wouldn't be surprised to see him at Mania. But the bottom line is this. Buddy Murphy says he claims the greatest of all time, and it doesn't matter who wins because no matter what, you just can't stop the unstoppable. Well, Buddy Murphy, he's not taking his opponents likely, but I don't think he has any fear right now either, in my opinion. Any thoughts you have?
I thought it was a very good promo segment. Buddy Murphy looked really dominant. And it fits his character because he's somebody that's just very cocky and looks very strong as a cruiserweight champion. So there's that. Yeah. I gotta go do something real quick. So you want to just break down the first match while I go do something?
Yeah, sure. No biggie. So,
this is why we go unedited.
Okay. Folks, we're 100% organic here. If nothing else, you'll be listening to us on YouTube Red. At least one of us. So, let me break down the first match for you all, and I'm sure you heard in the background. First match, opening match of the night, Oney Lorcan versus Cedric Alexander. And basically, this is going to come down to, as our beginner says, approach, striking or speed. Both men can both each. So we start off with a simple filling out process. There's side headlocks, there's a turnaround, side headlock, different exchange. There's an attempted kick, that was missed. Another lock up, and then a chop that just dropped Cedric. I wonder at this point, who chops harder, Walter or Oney, because it just dropped Cedric, okay? And then we get another chop, then we get an uppercut and a drop kick by Cedric, his first offense in the match. It covered, nothing special, not even close. Another chop gets some more offense, and a vicious kick to the back of Oney's head into another cover. It's still not really more than a little past 2. First attempt at his finisher, lumbar counter. We get a clothesline to another cover, nope, and then another cover, nope. Then we get a gut wrench, some forearm strikes. And then a vicious knee strike into another cover. No. We get another chop. And then an abdominal stretch. Oney Lorcan basically controlling the pace of the match now. Slowly breaking down Cedric Alexander. Working on his midsection. And basically from there, Cedric, he works his way out with some strikes and headbutts, but nope, goes right back into down with stress. And then only because, again, his style is he adapts to whatever he's dealing with. He goes into basically just vicious chops at Sir Alexander, and then there's a roll through into a cover, and then a vicious clothesline, turn him inside out. So, yeah. And basically, still not enough, and then we get a spinning back elbow strike into one of Cedric's specialties, the neuralizer. And then we get another cover. Nope, still not enough. Then we get a springboard flatline to a cover. That was actually the first real near fall of the match. I thought it was a very nice change of pace. Continuing the match, though, we get a running through blockbuster by Oni Lorcan into another cover. And that was another nice near fall. But nope, still not enough. Then you go for his finisher, the half and half, which is basically a German suplex. His first attempt at it. Nope. Standing switch, and then we get another to the lumbar check. Nope. And then the back gives out of Cedric Alexander from all the damage Owen's been giving him. There's another chop and then another spinning back kick from Cedric. Well, actually, that's the first one. That's the time he needs to use that frequently. Finally, we get the half and half. Like, he did it! He did it! Damn it. No. Kick out. Cover. Near fall. And then we just get a bunch of uppercuts. And then Oni goes into the apron. Just gets dropped on the apron. Like, pushed, basically. We get a nice Mizoku driver once again by Cedric Alexander. But just like Super Showdown, kick out. Near fall. I think the thing they were saying is he was in too deep on it because Oni like slipped out, or at least he could. And then Cedric basically furious, he's saying, "You want this? You want this?" Just anger. Cut is an uppercut, and then we get an insane half and half suplex spot from the top rope. How the hell did Cedric Alexander kick out of that? I understand, yeah, he's a solo 205 live, okay? He's the most hungry, most determined. People expect him to win the tournament. This is only his first showing. And the first time he's done that, Oni should have won here, but I digress. And then basically following that,
I'm back now. By the way, it's his first time doing that move overall too. I don't think I've even seen him do that move in NXT either.
Exactly. And now it's just like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, Cedric, he slaps Oni. Never a good idea to slap Oni Lorcan because all he does is grips your jaw and just open palm face strikes you to oblivion. And then he goes for, I think it's probably another clothesline or maybe a blockbuster or something. But somehow Cedric, he grabs back on his tights, literally slings him into a lumbar check for the win. 1, 2, 3. Damn it.
I was thinking
your thoughts on this match.
I really liked the match. Thought it was a really good way to open the show. It was really good. I was kind of surprised it didn't close the show, considering the fact, that I figured the crowd will get it. But they probably wanted to wake the crowd up right away because this was just following, the end of SmackDown and stuff. So
right.
They figured the crowd would have been dead if Tony Nese and Drew Gulak opened the show. So, this is why SmackDown should go right before SmackDown again. I hate that crap. So, but anyhow, I really like this match though. Very back and forth. Definitely got into it towards the end. Obviously I still like that they protect Cedric Alexander's finisher. I think only one person, and since I've seen him do this move, is kicked out of it, and that being Buddy Murphy at Super Showdown. I don't know if Kota Ibushi's kicked out of it. I think he has, but I don't remember it. So if I don't remember it, then it didn't happen. So, but I really like this match. Very disappointed Oni Lorcan didn't win because I wanted to see something fresh. I wanted to see something new. Because I'm hearing rumors Cedric Alexander possibly is going to win the tournament, which I hope doesn't happen because, while I like Cedric Alexander, him and Buddy Murphy will tear the house down, and that's a big storyline they can do. I want to see a fresh match for the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania, but we'll get into that more. But this match still was really good. Cedric Alexander looked very strong in winning, so I really liked it.
Yeah, I agree. My only concern here is I hope this isn't a one-up for Lorcan, and maybe that's why he, even on his top row spot, they had Cedric kicked out of it. It's kind of like how Roderick Strong was used in the Cruiserweight division when he took on Hideo Itami. I think Oni Lorcan would be a great addition to the 205 Live roster. Oni could definitely multitask. He's already multitasked between NXT and NXT UK, but Oni, incredible showing. Hope to see you again soon.
I mean,
so
even if he is gonna be on 205 Live, he can also multitask between 205 and NXT, like the new call-ups I've been doing as of late. So
pretty much. I mean, we see how that's going though. Stay away from Raw. Anyway, following this, we get basically the other big story out of 205 Live being recapped and basically continuing on. Mike's descent. Looking for the match. So we recap Mike's match from last week, you can call it that, where he just destroyed a jobber in less than 15 seconds. And then we're in Drake Maverick's office. And then basically Mike says, stop it. I have been in the business for 16 years. I have paid my dues. Well, actually, this is Maria talking on behalf of Mike. He's paid his dues. He demands your respect, not your pity. He deserves better. And Drake basically says, reluctantly, you know what? You're right. So next week, you're going to have a match. And it's going to be against one of the top cruiserweights in the world. But this roster has no room for losers. Looking good in defeat may not cut it. So I suggest you take next week's opportunity very seriously, because there may not be another one. Okay, so let's think about this. One of the best cruiserweights in the world. The match. He's looking for the match. The match that will make people remember his name. The so-called opportunist. Is this what he needs? Is this his write-off? Is he leaving the brand? Owen, your thoughts?
Really liked the segment. I thought Drake Maverick's delivery, as always, was good here. I even thought this is like easily one of Mike Kanellis' best promos since he's come to WWE, because he really hasn't had much of a chance to really cut a promo. It's typically his wife that talks for him. So I really like this. And this is like the most aggressive I've seen Mike Kanellis in WWE. Not in professional wrestling, but in WWE. But as for I think like the match will be against, I would like Oney Lorcan, because he had just had that impressive showing in the tournament. Because I don't really know who else. Maybe Kalisto, but they already did that match. So maybe Grand Metalik. That would be I would really like that match. Because you know he made it to the finals in the first Cruiserweight Classics, and he's tearing it up on really not so much on Raw, but he's on both brands at the same time. Because it's clearly going to be a babyface. It could be somebody from NXT UK, like maybe Tyler Bate. That would be awesome. So I'm thinking it's gonna be like someone because they're hyping this up like huge. It could be Humberto Carrillo too, actually. Because then that ties into the storyline with Gulak and Gallagher and stuff too. So it's probably gonna be somebody like that.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just gonna say this right now and throw it out there. I'm gonna say Rey Mysterio.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, imagine that as a one-up. He is basically one of the best cruisers in the world, cruiserweight from WCW. He made his name in WWE. He's become the World Heavyweight Champion. Awesome match, by the way, WrestleMania 22. Go back and watch that, folks. Cheap plug. We'll be doing a retro review of WrestleMania 23 this Thursday, unless, cards predict to change or time to change. But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Rey Mysterio. One of the best cruisers in the world, a one-off, a one-of-a-kind unique encounter, and maybe it will be Mike's send-off match if he loses, because we all know it's been rumored months now. Is he and Maria leaving?
We'll find out next week. If he loses next week, he's done. If he wins,
maybe
staying.
I gotta say, how many losses can you take? I mean, and he's done everything else underneath the brand. He's already tried his spot on the main roster, and I highly doubt it's going to be Sami Zayn, even though that would be an amazing callback to history as well. But
I don't think he fits the weight limit.
Yeah, I'm about to say he doesn't fit the weight limit. That's the one key factor 205 Live. You got to be 205 pounds or less. 206, you can't do it. Yeah. So anyway, following this, moving forward a little bit, another promo. He says the biggest asset was also his biggest deterrent, as he was just like the one-up guy for Hideo Itami, like a lapdog, some abstract word for lapdog. But he says, when the leash comes off, you're going to see what 1 year of frustration really looks like. I will say this. I'm taking him more seriously than Mojo Rawley.
Yeah. But at least he's not cutting promos in a mirror and stuff too. His promos are actually like good. So
can Mojo just break the mirror or kick the mirror or just step up and eventually just interfere in a match? Hell, he could have killed Noe Jose for all I care. But sorry, wrong brand.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, yeah, from there we literally go into our main event. This show was literally a 2-match show, and both were incredible matches. So here we go. Tony Nese versus Drew Gulak, a callback to last year's tournament, where once again, Drew Gulak won. Drew Gulak's model, safe and sound, feet on the ground. Tony Nese, he says he's not going to make mistakes, and he's going to rely on his focus, and he says he's going to win. So we start off with a little bit of a feeling out process as usual, bit of side lot. Both men exchange arm drags, trying to gain control. There's a moonsault to almost a Gulak, right there, almost the first son of a mistake. Out of nowhere, nearly Gulak at the very beginning of the match. That just shows how technically sound Drew Gulak is.
Yep.
Next thing you know, knees shock rolls out of the ring. Then we get a arm lock, headlock, side headlock into a cover. Nice combination, but nothing special. Not even a 2 count, I think. Then we get Tony Nese as one of his specials, a cartwheel and a kick and a chop and another cover. Meh. Tony Nese says that, he's focused on great strength, but he relied a lot here on his power. So there's a suplex to a cover, then we get some chops to a cover, and then Nese is dropped over the top rope. Oh, we also find Cedric watching at a stupid angle. I really hate that they do that, but whatever. Anyway, Nese big forearm strike, and then we get an attempted suplex spot into a reverse suplex cover. Gulak almost. No, not quite. But Gulak dissecting Tony Nese, now working on the leg, plants his knees into another cover. Gulak keeping him down on the mat game. We get headlock, knee slow with a side slam. Once again, showcasing his strength, and you got it. Then Gulak, he comes back, showing off aggressive offense. And then basically, he handles the beer and the jaw, the cover, nothing special. Chop, and then Gulak exclaims, "I own you!" Knees for an Irish whip and some strikes. Basically, that fired him up. And then Gulak comes back, though, with his own knee strike and a wrestler's bridge to a float over. Very nice cover. And I like the fact the crowd said, "We want Drew." This just goes to show how much Drew Gulak has an impact and is over as not only a wrestler, but a character on the 205 Live roster. And I was with them, because again, Drew was my pick to win. Following this, we get a straight dagger submission attempt where he tries to cross his arms behind him under his throat. Not quite, though. He basically knees with some strikes on offense, gets a cover in there. But then Drew grabs the face once again, knees with a Norman-like suplex into a bridge. But I don't think he had like a full extension or couldn't plant his feet enough, so of course he gets out of it. Knees with a kip up, though, like Matrix, dodging one of Gulak's moves. Kip up, kick, and then he hangs Gulak out to dry. What I thought was going to be an attempted powerbomb. So that caught me by surprise. Springboard moonsault, one of his staples, and then eats a kick. There's a spring-legged moonsault into a cover, near fall. Knees. He did not immediately go after Drew, learning about how this match is progressing, thinking that I can't rush in, I can't make mistakes, Drew can capitalize. He pauses and proceeds with caution. So good combination of moves and good thinking there. Still wasn't enough. Gulak with a drop kick works on the neck, setting up for the Gulak, of course, in the midsection. And then we get a Gulak attempt into a power bomb, actually. And then another power bomb after a cover by Drew Gulak. 2 power bombs back to back. But I feel like this took more out of Gulak than he actually really had. I think it was just more about showing his control or his strength, because I did not see him winning on that second cover, and that second cover looked very loose to me.
I even like, too, how those 2 power bombs was a callback for me, because he did the same thing to him last year, like in the tournament, when he just obliterated Tony Nese, too.
Basically. Yeah, but keep in mind, folks, Cruiserweight Wrestling is not just about high flying, okay? It is about just technical and brawling, and Gulak fits both those bills to a T, because he brought it here. Basically, following this, we get Nese with a roll through open palm strike, and then into a beautiful Hurricane Rana, goes for a top rope maneuver, all or nothing, 450 splash, turns into a crash and burn. Get a Gulak attempt, but then Nese, he counters into almost a pump handle driver. The Nese jumps out of the way of one of Drew's move, gets rolled up into a near fall nearly. Another Gulak attempt, but hey, Nese, to his credit, he rolls on his side, makes it to the ropes, and then basically Gulak, he just paintbrushes him, does a German suplex spot. Then Tony Nese goes for what basically took out Noam Dar. A running Nese misses. Vicious clothesline turns Tony Nese inside out into another cover. Still not enough. And then we finally get the Gulak. He has it. But then we get like shades of Luke Harper with the Gator roll. The Gulak's fully applied. But this is where mistake end up to bite Gulak. Too close to the ropes. Tony Nese uses the momentum to roll through. Keeps Gulak's shoulders down. Gets him 1, 2, 3. Wow. Now, I want to, before I get into points, I just want to say this. I want to go back to your point about you thought maybe Only and Cedric should have closed the show. Necessarily, you don't need like a fast-paced, high-brawling, high-fly spot match to close 205 Live. This was a technical showcase. This told a strong story here, and both men brought it. I think this is fitting, in my opinion, to close the show. And in my opinion, Drew Gulak, he's definitely a main eventer, so at least he deserves this.
Well, I'm not
on this match.
I'm not disagreeing with that point too, but remember what happened when Gulak and Kendrick closed the show? They got boring chants, so I was worried that was going to happen with.
To be fair, that crowd does not respect WWE or NXT. Lafayette sucked. There, I said it.
There you go. There you go. No glasses came off that time either, so now we know a nowhere can come out of nowhere sometimes. So
sometimes there's a grievance, sometimes there's anger, sometimes there's just what the fuck. That was just more of a grievance, so that's why the glasses didn't come up. But anyway, your thoughts on this match?
I really liked this match. I liked how very technical sound this was, and it had a storyline with because they had the history with them being a tag team and the match last year. And I liked the Gulak attempts, how he just kept going for it, and Tony Nese continued to out-wrestle Drew Gulak and find a way out of it, and finally, it ended up hurting Drew Gulak in the end, and Tony Nese qualified. And I think Tony Nese is now officially a babyface. This match turned Tony Nese babyface because he was kind of a heel coming into the match. I don't think he was really a heel, but he was kind of like, a tweener. But this match is now fully a babyface, and I think this tournament's turned him babyface. Like, he went from like a heel to a babyface in the span of a month. So I really like this, and I think it's a nice change for Tony Nese because he's basically been a heel since he's come to WWE. I don't even know if he's ever been a babyface because I know when he was in TNA, he was, I think, a heel as well. So
he was there, yes. As far as I know, he's never played the babyface, but like me and Cindy talked about on 205 Live Matters, go check that out, folks. NoDQ.com. Owen, he's on there too. He might be on next week. You never know. Anyway, yeah, because me and Cindy were talking about who we want to see Buddy Murphy face at WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is all about putting everybody on the card and also the most recognized names. The first most recognized name on 205 Live, the Brian Kendrick, but he's out. So the other option there was Tony Nese, basically like you said. He hasn't really been a face yet, but this tournament is basically morphing him into that. And with his history with Buddy Murphy, it would make perfect sense for him to go after the title at WrestleMania. Yeah. So right now I'm all in on Tony Nese winning, and I hope he wins next week. There, I said it. What about you?
I can't wait. I want to see Tony Nese win next week because I do want to see, because they have one more 205 Live right before WrestleMania, because the finals is tonight if you're watching this on Tuesday, but if you're watching this, prior to that, it's already happened.
Right.
Or after that, it had but I want to see like what the segment's going to be, because they're friends in real life. This is going to be one of those moments where the title means more than their friendship. So I think the storyline will be very interesting as well. So
the thing is, I don't think Buddy Murphy's ever called Tony Nese his friend. I think he called him more of his training partner. So they're not going to probably play the friend card here, but they are going to play about who's the best overall. And I'm just going to say this right now. I can see the loser of this match being moved up to the main roster during the international shakeup.
Yeah. It's probably going to be Buddy Murphy then, because, I want to see him tear it up on the main roster, him go against, some of those people. So
I think he's definitely worthy of the main event heavyweight picture. And honestly, I would love to see him on SmackDown Live. Whether or not they call back his between him and Mustafa Ali, or they maybe set him up somehow impromptu against the New Day O'Brien or Andrade Cien Almas. He can put on some major.
Just Andrade, buddy. Just Andrade.
Yeah, just shut up. It's Andrade Cien Almas. Fuck you, WWE, and your short name bullshit. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I feel like you really tear it up on SmackDown Live. But yeah, that was 205 Live for this week. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the closing. And I'm just going to say right now, I truly want Tony Nese to win. And pretty much we're all unanimous here. Me and Cindy agree. But Chris Mace, he believes Cedric's going to win. I hope he's wrong.
I wish Cindy could have made it on your 205 Live Matters last week, because I wanted to see her reaction to Cedric Alexander winning.
Oh, trust me. If you, Chris, or all people are welcome on 205 Live Matters. All you got to do is watch that week's episode and just come and talk to me. That's all. Simple as that. But bottom line, whoever's on here this week, if you want to join, I'd love to have you. I don't care, but I'm sure Cindy, no matter what, is going to hold her stance on Twitter or on 205 Live Matters. Stay tuned, folks, to see what happens. And
we got to get Cindy. If Cedric wins tonight, we got to get Cindy on. Like, whoever you have on.
Trust me. I'm going to ask her. You have my word on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that ends Tuesday. Let's move on to Wednesday to
NXT
UK.
Letter grade.
Oh, right. Sorry. I keep forgetting about all the different platforms I do. It's like Larry Ray, Starve it. Like I said, this show was very simple. It was 2 matches. It focused primarily on the title. All for man looked stronger. The champ said his piece. We also got a little bit of telling as far as a teaser to next week of what to expect in the Mike storyline. This show was probably a 4 out of 5 for me. So I would have to say A-.
I agree with that. So, we get the only flaw of the show is that Orny Lorcan lost. That's the only flaw for me. So
exactly. Dadgummit. But yeah.
Now let's do NXT UK. We'll kind of tag team these notes. I don't know if you have any notes, but we'll find out. Let's see if you. So NXT UK took place on March 13th, 2019. This was episode 34. And before the show even started, we got a WWE.com exclusive video where Mustache Mountain did like a little promo. I actually kind of liked it because if you watch it on, because I know they aired it later on the show, but if you actually watch it on the website, it actually shows the whole thing. And Mustache Mountain like weren't even sure if it was recorded or not. It was actually pretty funny. And they say that even though right now they're in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics, which obviously that didn't last long, but we'll get into that. They still are focused on winning the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. And since Zach Gibson is injured, now obviously I think that's just a storyline. I don't even think he's really injured. I think he's just obviously saying that because he's a heel. So.
Well, yeah, I'm about to say, wait, what? When did he get injured?
Yeah, I think because I didn't see any reports about it or anything. So, and obviously because you work on the inside of ODQ.com, you obviously know it's bullshit. So, yeah. But anyhow, so Tyler Bate challenges James Drake to the main, well, not in the main event, but to a match next week, which obviously is this Wednesday, which is tomorrow. If you're watching this, on right now, but if you watch it tomorrow, it's later on tonight. This is why I hate pre-taping these things, because then you got to say all this stuff.
Hey, to your credit, at least you're keeping the audience on point, or at least trying to. Continue.
Yeah. And he challenges James Drake to a match, which that's kind of like a callback because they've had a match before, like right before the Grizzly Young Veterans became like a tag team, and that kind of brought them together as a tag team. So yeah, I like the promo segment. And what did you think of it? No, I don't know if you saw the full thing, but
I saw the whole thing because I try and keep up with the exclusives on WWE's YouTube page. Great time killers when you're on 5 different buses a day, but I digress. I thought it was a good promo. I have to imagine Mustache Mountain, they are one of the forefronts of the NXT UK Tag Team division and always will be. So obviously, they're going to be involved in talking about how they're going to go after those titles before anything else. It was nice to see them involved in WWE NXT, which is really the official hashtag of NXT US, if you want to call it that. But and as far as the next takeover, I don't see the Grizzly Young Vets facing Mustache Mountain again. But I definitely can see Mustache Mountain being involved in the next takeover card in some capacity.
Yeah. Well, whatever the next takeover card for NXT UK is, because we don't really know.
NXT UK 50.
Yeah, because they probably want to get there. Yeah. Then we had the show. We had Nigel McGuinness and Vic Joseph on commentary for the show, which before this episode, because this was the second set of tapings in not Cambridge, but I forget where they are exactly. So.
I can't think of it.
Geography. But I thought at first they just pre-taped the commentary over the the show because they weren't really there, but they actually were there, so I was surprised to see that. So there's that. It opens up with an interview segment with Sid Scala and Johnny Saint, and this is the first time we've actually seen them on NXT UK because when it was in Phoenix, they didn't show up at all, and they didn't show up 2 weeks ago. So. They basically just announced the matches for tonight, where it's going to be, the main event. It's going to be Pete Dunne and Walter versus the Coffee Brothers, and how Kaylee Ray is going to debut. Which I like this segment, but it was kind of pointless in a way because we already knew this stuff going into the show. So I thought it was kind of weird. But yeah, it was fine. And then it does the intro video, and then we had the first match on the show. It was Flash Morgan Webster versus Wolfgang. And I was pretty intrigued about this match because both guys needed a win. Flash Morgan Webster has like lost all of his matches pretty much in NXT UK, and Wolfgang kind of needed a win to kind of represent Gallus, and since they were going to be in the main event. But I like this match. Wolfgang starts off very aggressive in this match by absolutely annihilating and dominating Flash Morgan Webster.
As per se.
And then Flash Morgan Webster mounts a comeback. He hits a lot of high flying moves, a drop kick, a hurricanrana, a Cena senton, eventually like a flip dive on the outside. But then eventually he took one too many risks and eventually ended up getting powerbombed into the post and then powerbombed onto the win apron. And then Wolfgang puts him back in the ring, and he hit his finisher, which I forget the name of it because I didn't write it down. So I believe it's like
not the Holland because that's that top rope moonsault.
Yeah. It was like a reverse, almost like exploder suplex. So
yeah, I don't remember what they call it.
And Wolfgang wins, which I think makes the most sense because it keeps Gallus looking strong. And he's the one that's been pushed the most. And then afterwards, he attacks Flash Morgan Webster, and referees have to come out and stop him. I kind of like in NXT UK how the referees are made to like be seen as like threats. Like if you lay your hands on them, you're gonna get fined because obviously the main roster doesn't care about any of that. So,
fine.
But yeah, I really like this. I thought Wolfgang looked absolutely strong here. And I like him as a heel. When they tried putting him in as a babyface, I didn't really think it worked. I feel bad for Flash Morgan Webster because when he showed up on like a one-off episode on 205 Live, I think like in April last year, I actually thought he had some very big potential in NXT UK, but he like is basically used as enhancement talent. So I think they should either put him up to 205 Live or have him just start. Have him have a heel turn or something, so I think that'd be nice. But what were your thoughts on this match?
Well, like you said, both men, they needed a win here. In my opinion, I still think Flash Morgan Webster should just turn heel because he's got that aviator helmet. He's wearing the black and white flag and whatever they call that flag. Union Jack, that's what I'm thinking of. And Wolfgang, his previous encounter, he faced the champ Pete Dunne in Phoenix and lost. So obviously he had to get the win here because it's all about Gallus saying, this is our kingdom and we are strong. We own this brand. So, I mean, it made sense for Wolfgang to get the win here. Flash Morgan Webster, you need somebody to beat up. I guess that's just his role. As far as what's next for Flash Morgan Webster, his next angle's got to be turning on his partner, Mark Andrews, or just getting obliterated by someone else in Gallus because there's nothing else for the guy. There's no mid-card title in NXT UK.
Yeah, exactly. And then do you want to break down the Cassius Ohno exclusive video package they had for him?
Yeah, basically they're talking about how he's wrestled all over the world, and this division and everyone in it better realize who I am because I'm coming. To really sum it up, I mean, there wasn't much more to it. He's basically introducing himself to NXT UK. So,
yeah, exactly.
Get ready, people.
I did like how he mentioned that there was a couple of lines I liked in this where we talked about how everybody in like NXT UK talks about how they like to throw back to like the old UK style of wrestling, but they looked up to guys that weren't even from like the UK, which I thought was nice.
That was a nice bit of I guess you could say call them out.
Yeah. And how he called them out because they basically just immediately got signed to WWE without doing the work, and how he started that foundation. So I like that.
Apparently he's never heard of ICW or Progress or Queensdom Eve or Pro Wrestling Queendom and those promotions, Defiant Wrestling. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I like the fact that Cassius Ohno's transferring over NXT UK because there was really nothing left for him to do in NXT. He's fought everyone that he could fight. So I think it makes sense, and I can't wait to see what he does in NXT UK. I expect he's going to get a title match with Pete Dunne, so that way it's because I don't think his role is going to change specifically. I still think he's just going to be there to put people over. But I think he's going to face Pete Dunne for the title once, and I think he's going to, maybe have a match with one or both members of Mustache Mountain. I personally would like to see him team up with Joseph Connors because they basically have the same gimmick where they just want to take out all the new guys from like the roster. So
You
that would
literally, you literally took the words out of my mouth because they both played off the part. New toys, shiny new toys. If those two don't become a tag team, you're wasting a storyline opportunity here against Ligero and a partner of his choice. That's all I have to say.
But yeah, let's talk about the next match. I'm going to talk about this because it's not going to take long. It was Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan versus Tyson T-Bone and Saxon Huxley. This match was just there. I could have cared less about this match because I only care about one guy in this match, and that's Kenny Williams. And quite frankly, if you would have asked me, Kenny Williams, I think instead of being in NXT UK in this joke tag team, should be in 205 Live tearing it up there because he just fits that mode much better. Amir Jordan's green, and I don't really like his dancing thing. Tyson T-Bone's trash, and I don't really know how I feel about Saxon Huxley yet because I haven't seen enough of him. So, but if you're teaming up with Tyson T-Bone, you must be trash. So, but yeah, they want Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan win. So I was surprised about that. They win with huh?
So are they. Continue.
Yeah. I think they won with the Swanton Bomb, but they didn't call it a Swanton Bomb. They called it something else because he's from India or whatever. So yeah, whatever. This match was just there. I don't like matches that are just there. I like matches to be there for a reason. So huh?
It's called a filler, man. You're gonna find them no matter where you are. Yeah, I completely agree about these 4 participants. I mean, the one that's got the most potential here as far as NXT UK is probably Saxon Huxley because if you remember that incredible one-off bout he had with his former partner, Joseph Connors, I believe, those two went at against each other. Now
that is true, yeah.
Tyson T-Bone. But again, you need to build more teams in the NXT UK tag team division besides Mustache Mountain. And we don't know what's going to happen with Flash Webster and Mark Andrews. You can't have just one team in the fold. So, I mean, yeah, it was complete filler. Amir Jordan right now, he's the one I'm most turned off by right now, the whole Bangladesh thing and all that type of stuff. Why you're there, why you're tag team. Kenny Williams, I think he's still confused about all this too. But, hey, kudos to them. They both got a win. Let's see who they face next. And as far as Tyson T-Bone, you might as well just call him Enhancement at this point.
But wait, I need to know, why do you like Tyson T-Bone more than Amir Jordan? I gotta know that because we have to have the serious discussion about that right now.
No,
so
I didn't say I like him more, but Tyson T-Bone, he fits more of the whole gritty, there to brawl, unorthodox type style he might bring. He potentially could get a one-off win and maybe feud with a smaller guy. Maybe they're setting up to a point of feud between Amir Jordan and Tyson T-Bone. I'm not just saying I like the guy. I'm just saying there's probably more to him than Amir Jordan.
Okay. And then I like Kenny Williams the best out of all these guys because he's awesome.
That, like I said, Kenny Williams the best. Saxon Huxley, I feel has the most potential as a singles. Okay. Tyson T-Bone, Amir Jordan, no idea about those two.
Why don't they just how about they become a tag team and they just suck up the joint every week? So because I know you say they got to build tag teams. We don't need a tag team with Tyson T-Bone and Saxon Huxley. Just go separate and do other things. Why don't you just
This is part of the problem of how early this new brand is basically built. They don't have enough people built to build you enough interesting stories. So right now they're bringing together teams and it's filler. Think about it. The biggest people leading stories right now, besides the 3 members of Gallus and Mustache Mountain, and of course all the champs on NXT UK, as far as the men go, is basically what we're going to talk about next. Noam Dar and Mark Andrews.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on. Then Jenny gets interviewed, and she gets asked about how she feels about Toni Storm, but she said she doesn't care about Toni Storm. All she cares about is winning the NXT UK Women's Championship, and that was basically it. So I liked it. It's obviously building up to a match. I don't know if it's going to be on an episode of NXT UK or a takeover, but what were your thoughts on that? Actually, I'll just talk about the Eddie Dennis one as well.
He said how he's coming back from exile. So go ahead.
Eddie Dennis says that he's back, and he said that he wants to start up again by just plowing right through the roster, and he's going to start next week, which is, tomorrow or tonight, whenever you watch this. Maybe it's already happened.
Wednesday, March 20th, people.
Yeah. And he says that he's going to take out Ligero next week. But All right, what are your thoughts on these two? And then I'll let you talk about the Noam Doe thing. What are your thoughts on these two segments with Ginny and Eddie Dennis, though?
Jenny is the most legitimate heel I've seen right now in NXT UK's Women's Division outside Rhea Ripley. So if she does not face Toni Storm next for the title, this is wasted on all fronts. I know they've also been talking about Nina Samuels. I still think there's a lot to build with her as far as her being like the show stealer and showcase. Maybe at some point this will break down between Ginny and Nina Samuels, having a promo battle between each other, who should go after the title. We'll see. But I enjoy Ginny personally. Heel, character, everything. Just so pompous, so full of herself, and hates being compared to Toni. She's perfect fit to face Toni next. As far as the Ligero thing, I mean, Ligero, he's getting wins. Eddie Dennis, if Eddie Dennis does not beat Ligero, there's something seriously wrong here. I really appreciate Eddie Dennis' in-ring style. I feel like this is leading up to what he likes to call it redemption, where he will end it by defeating the one that defeated me, Dave Mastiff. So this has to be the first step towards that goal.
Yeah, it's really weird because Ligero's getting a big push right now too, though, and I expect him to do some big stuff. So be interesting to see what maybe Joseph Connors cost Ligero the match.
Well, considering Joseph Connors has lost to Ligero now twice, there has to be an inner feud, I have to imagine, at some point between Ligero and Joseph Connors as a complete one-off. It won't probably be nearly as interesting as Travis Banks and Jordan Devlin, but hey, at least you're building another story, I guess.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about the Noam Dar return?
Oh, yeah, why not? So Noam Dar, he says he's finally back. And basically, it's his welcoming. He's in a suit and stuff like that. He says, and we return to the greatest country next week. And then he basically taunts the crowd and taunts everybody, which eventually leads to Mark Andrews coming out. And I guess now we know where Mark Andrews is going. I think right now Mark Andrews is being better used in the brand versus Flash Morgan Webster. Because basically it's setting up to Mark Andrews versus Noam Dar. And then in exclusive, Noam Dar says he's ready to slap one and all to get what he wants, starting with Mark Andrews, obviously.
Yeah, I like the new heel Noam Dar now too, and I like that he's fully a part of the brand now. So that's good. I don't know what this means for him in 205 Live if he's just completely off of that show now, but we'll find out. But yeah, I really like that Noam Dar, and I like this promo. I thought he did good here. So and then I can't wait to see a Mark Andrews Noam Dar feud. I expect they're gonna have a match in the future. So
yeah, well, keep in mind, Noam Dar says he is now on the rising brand to stay. I think it's going to say Noam Dar is going to stay in NXT UK.
I even like how he talked about how he's the one that started the NXT UK division by tearing it up on 205 Live and Monday Night Raw. Sorry, Noam Dar, you really haven't been tearing it up on Monday Night Raw that much. Remind you, you were part of a crappy feud on Monday Night Raw for a while, so.
Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. What the hell were they thinking? Moving on.
But yeah, I liked it. Then Xia Brookside has a promo at the Performance Center, except she has the camera by the ring as she's training and stuff. And she talks about how Rhea Ripley's a bully. And she's been bullying her, so she's come to NXT UK, and she says she's not going to let that happen anymore, so she's going to take her out next week, and then everybody laughed because that's not going to happen. So,
well, I mean, she's the smallest person in NXT UK's women's division, and this is all stemming back to when Rhea Ripley basically had her inadvertently be headbutted by Toni Storm. And yeah, Rhea Ripley has been picking Xia Brookside since pretty much day one. I think Xia Brookside and Rhea Ripley even faced off each other one-on-one at one point. And Rhea won. So, yeah, this is Rhea's next feud. It should be a good bout. And, yeah, you're going to go for the plucky, young little standing up for others and herself versus the nightmare and the ultimate bully, as they call her, Rhea Ripley, which I really enjoy. I think it's going to be a very good match, and I'm looking forward to this feud.
Same. It's kind of a demotion for Rhea Ripley, though. You go from wrestling for the title to wrestling Xia Brookside, but...
Well, the thing is, when you hit the top and then you kind of are stepped down from the top, you have to adapt. You can't be on the top forever. Nobody is. Even Pete Dunne's going to reach his breaking point, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon. But anyway, the bottom line, Rhea Ripley, she's still being involved in a good storyline, I feel, against legit competitors, not jobbers. And not only is this building herself, she's helping build the brand and others. I think it's good for Rhea all around. But I do hope to see her more involved also in NXT here in the U.S. in the months to come.
And then the hunt begins next week. We have a vignette for Wild Boar. What's his name? I forget now his name off the top of my head. Wild Boar something. Mike Hitchman. Wild Boar, Mike Hitchman. And what are they called?
Melrose, I believe. Primate.
Yeah, Primate, Jay Melrose. I can't wait to see them. I love them as like a tag team and as one-on-one, and I can't wait to see them like tear apart the roster as a tag.
I wonder if they're going to be called the Hunt though, because they said the Hunt begins. Is that just going to be part of their like whole promo scheme, or are they literally going to be called that? Because again, these guys are like wild animals, and I hope they don't call them that. But I digress.
It's not really good because the Hunt's not really a good thing for animals too. So, then we had I'll let you break down this match: Candy Floss versus Kaylee Ray.
First off, why is Candy Floss not signed under NXT UK? She's literally a mirror version of Xia Brookside. Those two could be a tag team, but I know Millie McKenzie and Xia Brookside, they're more of a tag team. But I love Candy Floss. She reminds me a lot of Blue Pants, except I can take her a little more seriously. But Kaylee Ray, I've been extremely excited for. Queen of Excited, former ICW Women's Champion. She's faced Toni Storm in the past before, so I can definitely see her going after the title. This was a fun match, a great showing, and a great debut for her. And she finished her off with that vicious kick and Widow's Peak, driving Floss in his face hard into the canvas. Candy Floss, once again, used for development, but still, she's okay.
And I know like they want to do Millie McKenzie and Xia Brookside as a tag team, and if you want to do that, fine, but you're missing out on an opportunity if you don't put Xia Brookside and Candy Floss as a tag team. They literally would be an awesome tag team together. So
I love Candy Floss. I love her as much as Eric Bugenhagen. Okay, now I have two. I guess you call them jobbers and hands of town. I don't care what you call them. I love both of these. Also, Kaylee Ray. She also had a insane chop and a beautiful crescent kick too. Kaylee Ray is going to bring a lot to this division, and known as the Queen of Hardcore, I wouldn't be surprised down the line if she somehow brings hardcore type wrestling matches to NXT UK. So,
yes.
People, be prepared. If you don't know who Kaylee Ray is, go see her face Piper Niven at Fear and Loathing 11. The full match is on YouTube. Queen of Insanity match. It was freaking insane. And the commentary was hilarious, too. I'm very excited she's in NXT UK.
Yes, same. And then Sid Scala and Johnny Saint are backstage, and they make the match for next week. Tyler Bate versus James Drake. Yep. And then they said they're going to go watch the main event because you can't really blame them on that one. That main event's going to be awesome. So there you go.
Boy, was it.
Yeah, it was. Why don't you break down the main event? Pete Dunne and Walter versus the Coffee Brothers.
I mean, it was literally a battle of just pure brutality, okay? Walter and Pete Dunne, you didn't know what these two were going to do, whether they were going to implode, whether it was going to be a one-upswing game. You never know. Pete shows fear, but Pete's always thinking. He's got that weird scowl on his face, and Walter, his face doesn't budge. But basically, Dunne and Walter, they show incredible dominance inside and outside of the ring. Great in-ring technicians. This is also the second time now we've seen the Coffee Brothers together as a tag team. So you knew there was going to be a lot of high-end tag team chemistry here. But basically, yeah, they get the advantage of both Coffees, and both of them, they face ring aprons. The Coffees were tossed around here like a bunch of rag dolls by freaking Walter. That was freaking hilarious. But at one point, I think Mark Coffey, he gets the advantage, snatches him up from behind, insane German suplex. Joe Coffey, I believe, he dropped Walter off a ring apron. Like, that really did much of anything. I think at one point they were trying for cheap shots, and all it did was anger Walter. And then once Walter got in, I mean, what you got? But Walter is so simple in his freaking ring style and moveset, but you can't help but love it. It's chop, it's punch, it's suplex, it's drop kick, it's powerbomb, it's done. But yeah, and eventually the ending, one of my high spots here, Pete Dunne wishboning one of the Coffees, and Walter pulling off an insane double German suplex spot here, which I thought was really cool. And that basically led inevitably to the end. And we got a teaser of things to come because Walter steps on Pete Dunne's title and then just generally gives it to him. I think at one point, was Pete Dunne busted open? One of them was busted open during some
Walter
point.
was because
Walter.
he was supposed to like do the big man spot with a little guy, with a guy smaller than him tries to pull the rope down, and he falls out of the ring, but he botched it and didn't quite fall out of the ring. So I think that's
Well, again, Walter, to his credit, he's more power than technicality. I mean, he's a ring general, but yeah, that was probably one low spot for me. But I was not disappointed by the match at all. And I have to imagine this has gotta be the setup for Walter versus Pete Dunne for the NXT UK Championship. And I've got to imagine the next takeover.
Yeah, because they're not giving that match away at a random episode of NXT UK.
No, that match is too good for. With all due respect to the UK crowds and NXT UK weekly programming that usually delivers consistently, did here too, except for the filler match. That title match is takeover bound only. Simple as that.
I even love the spot when Pete Dunne did his X-Plus on the apron, and Walter did like his face first, suplex on the apron as well, and then they get in the ring and they like do each other's taunts like right in their faces and stuff.
It's a game of one-upsmanship. Both men, they're like impressed with each other, but they don't visibly show it, and they're seeing who could outdo the other. That's literally what this match was. The Copies were the unfortunate victims.
Yeah.
But hey, they're Gallus. They're supposed to be strong. They're supposed to prove that this is their kingdom. Truth be told, they lost, but I think they looked pretty good in this match.
I think they could have looked a little stronger because they didn't give it. I think they could have got a bit more offense, but yeah, they looked pretty strong. And then I even obviously one part you missed was when the Coffee brothers tried cheated, and Bob Coffee was going to hit Pete Dunne in the back of the head with the UK.
Oh, you're right. The title spot. My bad. Yeah.
And Pete Dunne and Walter were in each other's face, and Walter big boots Mark Coffee. Powerbombs up onto the championship and wins. And this, you saw it like the look of fear right into Pete Dunne's eyes. So
Pete Dunne never shows fear. You can tell he showed something there.
Yeah. So I liked it. And that was NXT UK for from last week or 3 years ago. Whenever you're seeing this, I'm gonna make that a weekly joke now until it gets annoying.
You probably just be making it more simple, just telling people when the show officially aired, but I digress. But hey, you do you. Letter grade, you first.
I'm gonna give it a B+. Why it's not an A is because of that that filler match. We don't need we don't need that match. That match didn't need to happen anywhere. So never again. Everything else, though, I thought was very good on the show. Building stories, building characters. Just no more Tyson T-Bone ever again. We don't need him. We don't need Amir Jordan either. We don't need any of that. No more of that.
A little Bangalore. Now where's people
B+. Great show.
Yeah, B+. Because again, that filler, like I said, I feel like Kenny Williams better off on his own. Amir Jordan, Tyson T-Bone, I can see that devolving into a pointless filler feud. Wouldn't surprise me. Saxon Huxley, no idea how to judge him. Loved everything else.
I don't even know who I would root for in a Tyson T-Bone and Amir Jordan match. Like,
that's flip a coin and just pick a person.
I don't even know how the match would be. I think I don't know.
Yeah, don't think too hard on it.
Yeah. Hopefully that match doesn't happen. So.
Your hope is as good as mine.
Let's get to the best weekly episodic. This one, best weekly show on Wrestling Observer's year-end awards, NXT. So that's good. So,
hey.
We had Percy Watson, Mauro Ranallo, and Nigel McGuinness on commentary. Probably the best commentary in WWE today.
Great person, completely agree.
And first it showed the full recap of the first round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics, just showing all the matches and who won. Since you weren't here, I don't think you did. What did you think of the first round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic before we?
That was absolutely incredible. Okay, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic never disappoints. The setup of these teams, some have surprised me. Some are like, yes, this is perfect. Extra extended edition of NXT last week was not disappointed one bit. I think there's no doubt, though, DIY and Undisputed Era, they stole the night.
Yes. But you also had other awesome matches on that show, but I did my own review of that, so you guys can check that out. So,
Yep. And
Um,
what's NXT, where Stefan and Jerry, they review it too on NoDQ.com.
yes.
For
Then we had the first of two matches in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic semifinals match. Mustache Mountain versus Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler with Jackson Riker inside. This was a good back and forth tag team match. They dominate Tyler Bate in the beginning portions of this matchup, but then eventually Trent Seven gets the hot tag. Mustache Mountain dominates early in the match, and then Forgotten Sons, well, only Blake and Cutler get the heat for a long time onto Trent Seven, which Trent Seven does a very good job of taking the heat. Because you would think it would be the reverse, where Tyler Bate would be the hot tag guy, but that's not the case at all. So I like that. Then Tyler Bate gets the hot tag. He looks very impressive doing the double airplane spin onto Blake and Cutler. And Tyler Bate does a really cool dive on the outside. He even went for like a front face, the stand and shoot and start press on the outside. And I don't know which one it is because I can't tell which one's which, but one of them moved out of the way. And I thought he was going to like crash and burn on the outside, but he landed on his feet, which was impressive. And he does that. They both do like half and half suplexes on the outside. Mustache Mountain are on the verge of winning. They do the clothesline into the half and half suplex, but it gets broken up. And then eventually the finish comes when Jackson Riker takes out. No, actually, I did miss that. Jackson Riker, there was not a breakup. Jackson Riker put, I think it was Steve Cutler's foot on the ropes, and it led to the breakup. And then Trent Seven gets taken out, and Tyler Bate gets hit with a double stomp from the top turnbuckle into the reverse DDT for the win. Forgotten Sons advance into the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which, I guess makes sense considering who won later on in the night, but I really wanted to see Mustache Mountain win because I like them more, but I'm actually starting to like Forgotten Sons more and more. They're actually not bad wrestlers. They're pretty good, so what were your thoughts on this match?
Well, I've been to NXT Cleveland and NXT Detroit recently, where the Forgotten Sons were also involved in both shows. So I've seen their growth. They actually are a pretty darn good tag team. And to their gimmick and credit, I think more people are definitely starting to remember them now. And yeah, NXT is building them. They beat Mustache Mountain. Now, it's going to go third guy came into play, but what you expect from a heel team with multi-faction / what you think would be Freebird rules, they haven't even used that yet. It's just these two and the other guy on the outside that does nothing but stare at you intensively, barely says a dang word. I don't think he said a word yet, except for those vignettes. So yeah, it was a very good match. NXT is building up their own division by building this team up, who I'm sure are going to be interesting to watch to see if they take it all at the end. I thought it was a very nice opener, and I don't think it really hurts Mustache Mountain because they still have NXT UK.
And it continues their story because Mustache Mountain's like a perfect underdog team where they always come this close, but they don't quite,
Even they all fought at NXT UK Takeover Blackpool that they were going to win, and they didn't. These guys are literally now the ultimate underdogs. They're the guys you really want to win, but now you don't know when they can, but you're hoping that it does happen.
Yeah. Then Matt Riddle gets interviewed, and he says that he wants to become the next NXT North American champion, but Adam Cole doesn't think that he has the potential to do so. He thinks that he's more deserving of being the NXT North American champion. So Matt Riddle challenges him to a match, and Adam Cole really doesn't accept, but I imagine it's going to be a match on well, we don't know. The tapings are probably going to change next week because obviously we'll get into that later on in the show. This was probably supposed to build to a match this week or whenever you're seeing this. But obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the next set of tapings. So, but I still really like this, and I really can't wait to see if they do a Matt Riddle Adam Cole match. I think that would just be awesome. But what were your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's Matt Riddle, bro, and Adam Cole, baby. Enough said. Take my money. If this has to be setting up for a one-on-one encounter, maybe to set up who's going to be the number one contender for the NXT North American Championship held by Velveteen Dream, which makes perfect sense since Velveteen Dream already teased and talked about both of these men, how he holds the spotlight and how Adam Cole, baby, is not man enough for this title. So yeah, it has to be set up a one-on-one encounter. I have to imagine, if not this week, the following week, because they didn't get no vignette. Regal has not made it official yet, and we honestly don't know what the direction right now is for NXT Takeover New York. That's the official name of it, by the way. We don't know anything going on at this point for that show.
Yeah. So I am questioning that. But who would win if? Who do you think will win if that does happen? Matt Widow or Adam Cole?
Well, the thing is, Adam Cole has the advantage. He has Undisputed Era. Truth be told, now that his boys are out of the tournament, you got to imagine they're going to come into play. But then again, Adam Cole, to his credit, he wins a lot of matches on his own. But they're ultimately building Matt Riddle through. And I got to imagine the next big guy to come out of NXT and go up to the main roster. You just figure out all the promos he's been in. Think about all the video stuff he's been in. Think about all the social media talk they talked about him doing, whether it's Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, or there's a rival series that's not only on the Performance Center channel, but now in full of the WWE Network. So that's really hard to say. But I'm just going to, because I don't think this will be a one-off. I would have to say Adam Cole would have taken this one.
Okay. I'm going to say Matt Widow. It's too early for him to lose, so Matt Widow.
Okay.
Then we had the NXT Women's Championship #1 contenders match with Shayna Baszler on commentary. Io Shirai versus Bianca Belair. They have actually a good match here. Io Shirai does the Tiger Fang kick. Bianca Belair does the hair whip. And
that whip.
It's a very back and forth match, but then eventually Shayna Baszler's getting pissed off and eventually takes out Bianca Belair, which technically she would win because it's, disqualification. And she just takes out everybody. She takes out Bianca Belair with the Kirifuda clutch. She goes to take out Io Shirai, but then Kairi Sane runs out. And before she can even get a hit in, she just gets immediately taken out with a Kirifuda clutch, which I laughed because I thought it was funny. And then Io Shirai fights her off a little bit, but then is checking on her friend Kairi Sane, which causes not Bianca Belair, but Shayna Baszler to sneak in and lay her up with the Kirifuda clutch again. And before I get your thoughts on this, backstage, she talked about how everybody was like, nobody was worthy enough to face her. So none of them are. But then Willie Regal, I guess, told Kayla Braxton, who was interviewed. No, was it Kayla Braxton? I think it was Kathy Kelly through her earpiece.
Yeah, earpiece.
And that it's going to be a fatal four-way match at NXT TakeOver New York. It's going to be Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai versus Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair, which that kind of disappointed me a little bit because I really wanted to see a women's tag team title match with the Sky Princesses versus the Sky Pirates versus the Boston Hug Connection. But maybe they'll be a part of that at WrestleMania. But I really wanted to see a one-on-one match, a two-on-two match. But what were your thoughts, though, on this? But I still really liked all this stuff, and I think that Fatal 4 match is going to be better than probably almost all the women's matches at WrestleMania, except maybe the Triple Threat, but maybe even better than the Triple Threat. You don't know. But, Noah, what were your thoughts on this match and this segment? Well, the setup to the 4-way match and everything.
Well, both women, they came in here with legitimate beefs on trying to become the #1 contender to Shayna Baszler's title. In Bianca Belair's head, she still claims she's undefeated. Delusional, but maybe that's just her mindset. Io Shirai, she pinned the champ, truth be told, in a 6-woman tag. Now, both women I thought brought in this match, and yeah, they brought out their best hits. The SI moonsault, the Tiger Fake kick, the hair whip, the KLD. Shayna Baszler, though, she didn't want to face either one of them. She claimed neither one of them was worthy. So what does she do? She goes away from commentary, lays them both out. Kairi Sane, bringing up that pressure, comes in for the save, immediately gets taken out. Then Io Shirai, who seems like the most valued right now and the most realistic to face Shayna Baszler for the title one-on-one. She takes out Shayna for a moment, but goes back to her friend, turns her back on Shayna, and Shayna, like a shark, just comes out of nowhere, puts her to sleep. Shayna lays everybody out, like you said, by herself, I might add. Once again, proving how dominant, how great she is as a heel and as a champ, and how she's trying to invoke fear into this division and through this title. And yeah, I mean, it was no doubt in my mind after that happened. This had to become a fatal 4-way. As far as my feelings on it, the way I see it is this. International shakeup. None of these women, they've been in NXT now for quite a period of time. You got to think what they could do next. You got to think what's next for all of them, okay? You also got to think about the mentality of the main roster. if Ronda Rousey is leaving, Shayna Baszler is the perfect fit to face who I hope will be Becky, because she is perfect in her role. And Io Shirai, she can carry on the NXT Women's Division, and then you would get a title match between Io Shirai and Bianca Belair. If Io Shirai wins the title, truth be told, though, Kairi Sane, former champ, she could potentially win the title again, and that could set up Io Shirai versus Kairi Sane down the line the next takeover. Or by some magnificence, Bianca Belair, she becomes champ, you might get your Sky Pirates as a surprise entrant in the WrestleMania Women's Tag Match, because Bosniak said they will defend it across all brands against all comers. And right now, based on the current setup of that tag match, I'm not feeling it unless they have the Iconics, which hopefully they will. So yeah, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the aftermath. I thought the setup was pretty predictable after what happened. And right now, I agree with you. Probably this will outdo most, if not all, of the women matches of WrestleMania, even though we got Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda in the same match. I'm seriously looking forward right now overall, and this is just one match, the only match made official so far for NXT TakeOver New York. I'm so far looking forward to that more than WrestleMania overall.
Well, it's also NXT. Who isn't? And it's only going to be like 3 hours too, so you can get in and get out quickly. So
point taken.
Then we had the main event. Not the show, but, you know.
No.
We actually could have done a main event with you if I had known Chris wasn't going to be on, but that was, I didn't get a chance to watch the show. And there's, you know, EC3's losing on main event, so that just shows you, yeah. That shows you how his career is going. If you're losing on main event, then you're not going anywhere, so. But yeah, anyhow, it was the second match of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic semifinals. Ricochet and Aleister Black versus DIY. What a match this was. You had all types of storylines in this match with, you know, Gargano and Black, Black and Ciampa, Gargano and Ricochet. Not really so much Ricochet and Tommaso Ciampa. They didn't really have much of a history with each other, but it was still a lot of storylines in this match, from halftime heat, war games too, everything. And this match definitely doesn't disappoint. This match was a hell of a match. There is one funny spot in this match where Johnny Gargano goes for the spear on Ricochet, and he completely messes it up because it looks like that Ricochet like turned it into a DDT. We really don't know what happens, but it was hilarious, and I'm surprised I didn't get cut from the tapings, but they left it in there, which I thought was funny. But DIY gets the heat for a long-ass time on Ricochet. Aleister Black gets the hot tag. He hits a double Cambrano on DIY, and you know, he's really laying into DIY. DIY tried to do the Gargano escape. They pretty much redo the finish from NXT TakeOver Toronto, where Tommaso Ciampa also did like the armbar the exact same way they won the NXT Tag Team Championships.
Yeah.
But Ricochet like power bombs Ciampa right onto Johnny Gargano, which we think takes out his knee. And Johnny Gargano really can't continue the match, so Tommaso Ciampa has to go in alone, which leads to the downfall because Aleister Black hits the Black Mass into the 630, and Black and Ricochet win. So in 2 weeks, which is next week if you're watching this week, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else. And it's going to be Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake in the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Don't know who's going to win, I imagine, because I don't know what Aleister Black and Ricochet's role is going to be at TakeOver. If they have a match, they should win because I want them to win. And I think, you know, Aleister Black and Ricochet versus the War Raiders was a better match, but we'll have to wait and see. But if it's not the direction they're going in, then, you know, if they're not going to have a match, then they should have Blake and Cutler win, and Aleister Black and Ricochet can put somebody over on the way out. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But that wasn't all, though. Then Candice LeRae comes out and checks out on her husband because, you know, she's obviously going to be concerned about her husband because they have a good relationship and everything. So, and Tommaso Ciampa does, and they redo the thing they did at the very first NXT TakeOver Chicago, where they all try to leave together, and they're all leaving in disappointment. But then Tommaso Ciampa tries to turn again on Johnny Gargano, but we find out Johnny Gargano was faking his knee injury. And this is basically where we find out that Johnny Gargano was all along playing Tommaso Ciampa. He throws him into the Titantron or the screen, whatever they're calling it nowadays. And he hits a super kick on Tommaso Ciampa. And he says, Johnny Wrestling is back. And him and his wife stand in laughter. And it was awesome. I'll give my thoughts on it. All of this was awesome. It just really sucks that we can't have a payoff to this feud, because obviously this is Tommaso Ciampa's last show before he leaves and goes to neck surgery, because this was all taped before that. But man, this was awesome though. All of this was awesome, but it just really sucks we're not going to get a payoff. So it kind of makes you sad in a way. But I loved all of this. What were your thoughts on this, Noah?
Absolutely incredible main event. Love the post angle. Fluby won, same on you. Fluby twice, same on me. Johnny Wrestling is back. I wonder if this means he's going to lose the Venom Titantron, though. Go back to like the normal Titantron with the normal looking smile. And the one key difference here that made me believe, they're going to set up for the same angle, but Johnny's going to turn on him. At Chicago, Candice LeRae was not involved in them going up the ramp. So with Candice LeRae out there, this had to be a fix. So Candice LeRae had to be aware of this the whole time, because you remember the very first handshake, Candice LeRae like, okay, you know what you're doing, go do what you do. She was hesitant and didn't want to go along with it. So yeah, as far as the match, incredible main event. I feel like the right team won here because, again, we don't know the futures of Aleister Black and Ricochet because they're allegedly moving up to the main roster. But right now, Raw and SmackDown still shows the NXT graphic. We don't know what those two are doing. We do know what one person's doing right now, though. Congratulations, Aleister Black, on your marriage to Selena Vega. Enjoy your honeymoon.
That's a big congratulations right there, too. So,
yeah. Hey, good on him, though, Hey,
yeah.
You find a lot of the weirdest places. Go figure. I mean, Casey Catanzaro and Ricochet, they're a couple, but as far as I know, they're not married yet. I'm sure that might happen soon enough. But Casey has yet to debut on NXT TV, but going off topic.
Yeah.
Incredible match. I thought that him selling the knee injury was pretty good. Ciampa's real looking concern for it. Going in the match by himself, I thought was pretty good as well. All four men delivered on all fronts. You got everyone's greatest hits in this match. And yeah, I'm looking forward now to Forgotten Sons versus Ricochet and Aleister Black. Especially with War Raiders, of course, seeing Ricochet and Aleister Black before the match, being like, okay, we see ya. So, we'll see what happens. Just to keep it simple. And as far as Candice LeRae and Johnny Wrestling, I just hope Candice LeRae will be involved in the NXT Women's title picture post-TakeOver, because it looks like she doesn't have, once again, anything for TakeOver.
So now I have to ask the question. You might already know because the spoilers are out. I don't know if you've been reading them, but...
Hashtag spoiler free.
Okay, good. We're spoiler free on this show. I don't know why we did the X symbol, but I did. So nobody's injured here that we know of. So, what do you think is going to happen now with the NXT Championship? What's going to be the match at NXT TakeOver New York?
Oh, jeez, that is a loaded question right there. Let's think about this. So Triple H is supposed to be addressing the NXT universe, but it's vacant. You're not going to do interim. It's so close to freaking WrestleMania weekend. You can't have a tournament for it.
Yeah.
You do a ladder match for it. I don't know. But. I know we got this week, we got next week, and we got the following week to set up TakeOver. So what I'm suggesting is one of two things. A beat the clock challenge, or you have qualifying matches this week, qualifying matches next week, 2 and 2, and you have a fatal 4-way number one contenders elimination match where no, strike that. Because you gotta have 2 people. He's not gonna just name one. Shit. Oh, okay, wait, I got it. Maybe if they do the Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole baby match, the winner of that is automatically put in as the number one contender. And then you have 3 other men picked based on who has proven the most in NXT, fight it out in a triple threat number one contenders match. And the winner of that match faces the winner of Adam Cole versus Matt Riddle in a one-on-one match for the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver New York. Whew.
Yeah, let me see if I can think about this. So, I'm gonna guess that Johnny Gargano will automatically get put into the title match. They're gonna do a 4-way match, I think. Johnny Gargano will automatically get put in since he took out the champion. That makes sense. Matt Riddle will face Adam Cole, and Adam Cole will win. So that because they need a heel in the match. And then I need to think of other people and to put in this match.
Well, you got Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic, who's going to give us a barn burner.
Right.
So maybe one of them could potentially be put in, because again, they're carrying the future of NXT.
I think 1 week we're gonna get like a battle royal where one of them will go in too, like a battle royal with like all the rosters. That way we can see Eric Bugenhagen again too. So.
I love that guy. Oh my god.
Not even like even Nigel was jamming out.
I mean, Nigel McGuinness, he even was putting the guy over.
Yeah. So that's what I think is going to happen. We're going to have like qualifying matches instead of before a match. Gargano will automatically be in. Then Adam Cole will beat Matt Riddle. Dominic Dijakovic will beat Keith Lee. And I think Aleister Black, because I think Aleister Black and Ricochet are losing in 2 weeks. Well, in 2 weeks. And then Aleister Black will either Aleister Black and Ricochet will make it in. I think, I don't know which one I want to make it in more. Maybe Aleister Black, because him and Gargano have more of a story. Oh, but one of them will make it in.
Interesting. Yeah, Ricochet and Aleister Black. I didn't think about them being back in.
Maybe a Fatal 5-Way match. I don't know. I really like Fatal 5-Way matches, though. They do them too much.
They're unique. They don't have it that often, but that's something NXT could definitely pull off. And that's one thing they have yet to do, among others. The way NXT treats like gimmick matches and multi-person matches is truly incredible to their credit.
But also, you got to think about it, like, because I think you don't want to load that one match up with too many main stars, because then all the other. So I'm gonna say Ricochet will have a different match on the show. He'll face like somebody else. I think the takeover card is gonna be Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle for the North American title. Okay. War Raiders versus Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler for the NXT Tag Team titles. Not the most interesting card, but I think they're gonna win, so that way it opens up the door for either Aleister Black and Ricochet to be in the NXT title match. So, and then like the third match will be the four. Well, and obviously you can, obviously we know one of them. It's the 4-way match for the women's title.
Correct.
And the fourth match will be Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole versus Dominic Dijakovic versus either Aleister Black or Ricochet for the NXT title.
Now, you doing that Fatal 4-Way or Fatal 4-Way elimination?
Ooh. I'll do, I'm going to do Fatal 4-Way because you clearly can't have Dominic Dijakovic take a loss right now. It would hurt, the only way you can have him take a loss is if he gets hit with, like, everybody's finishers. So, yeah, we'll do elimination because there's a way to protect him from, like, because if he gets hit...
necessarily, it depends who pins him, okay? And that could build a story. I like that card, actually, but I'm going to go a little different. So, tag team titles, I really feel like it's going to be Ricochet and Aleister Black's last official match in NXT. So, I'm going to say Ricochet and Aleister Black versus the War Raiders for the NXT tag team titles. You already talked about the Fatal 4-Way. We got that. North American Championship, that's got to be involved somehow. It's got to be Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle, bro.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tag team, women, North American, and holy cow, this could actually be a 4-match card now that I think about it.
Well, they could add a match too.
It's WrestleMania weekend. Those matches are going to be given a hell of a lot of time.
Yeah. So maybe there'll be one. Because typically takeovers are a 5-match card though. They could add like a match on there somehow. So.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm actually going to say this. Yeah, I'm actually going to say this. I'm going to say filler match, not filler. Going to be epic. I feel like they're going to do Keith Lee versus Dominic Dijakovic, and then the NXT Championship match. Ah, man. If it's not, oh, you know what? Budget. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, baby, for the NXT Championship.
Okay. There you go. I like both cards, though. We both came up with some pretty nice match cards, so there you go. Well, actually, I got to come up with a 5th one, though, because I don't have Dominic Dijakovic for one of them, so...
not necessarily. I mean, imagine a 4-match card. These matches could each go over 20 minutes. bell
Yeah.
to bell. So I mean, if you want, you can try, but
Yeah.
go for it, man. If you want.
I have to correct you too. It's Dominic Dijakovic, not Dominic Dijak. So.
Oh, right. That stupid butching name. I hate that.
All right, but we're done because we can't do main event because we didn't watch it. So.
Main event. Jobbers Zone. Jobbers won. NXT Cobb lost. The end.
What a great main event just based off that.
F! F. Fucking F.
The day main event gets an A, gets a grade better than an F will be the day main event gets taken off Hulu.
What a day that would be.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. My brain just thought of something for TakeOver. Because it's WrestleMania weekend. Everybody knows NXT and NXT UK. They could potentially add a match from NXT UK on that show. But what?
Mm,
Would you...
Tony Storm versus Ginny for the NXT UK Women's title.
I could potentially see that.
Just because...
people know Ginny, though, here. That's the thing. I feel like it would be more... I'm changing my mind. I'm going to take out Donovan Dijakovic versus Keith Lee because I think 3 matches will be overkill. I'm going to say it right now. Walter versus Pete Dunne for the NXT UK Championship at NXT TakeOver New York.
Okay. I'm saying Tony Storm versus Ginny.
All right.
Because I feel like...
5-match card. Either way, I think, and I'm going to say this on record, I'm going to watch United We Stand from Impact. I'm going to watch the G1 Supercard. I'm going to watch NXT TakeOver New York. I'm going to watch WrestleMania. Out of those 4, show that was still the weekend, in my opinion, overall, from quality, matches, and length, I'm going to say right now, NXT TakeOver New York.
And when does it not, too, by the way? So
true. Well, to be fair, this is the most loaded wrestling week I'm going to have on record. I'll be doing prediction video for G1 Supercard with NoDQ.com and probably doing my own prediction video for United We Stand because I'm a fan of Impact. Yeah.
All right. Letter grade for NXT. We haven't done that yet. I'm gonna give it an A+. Really nothing. I can't think of anything wrong with it.
I mean, there wasn't a single flaw with this episode, in my opinion. It's an A, solid A.
What happened to your plus?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know when we do just new. I didn't know A was the max or A+ was the max. A+.
Okay. All right, that's it. That's the end of the show. We only did this in an hour, 27 minutes and counting right now. So there we go. Let's see how many people watch it. Do you have anything you want to plug or promote? I obviously know you do. So.
Well, let me keep it simple. But thank you, Owen, for the opportunity. Of course, always a pleasure talking wrestling with you. Ladies and gentlemen, keep following this series. Follow this guy's YouTube channel. And with that, I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me and talk about anything wrestling, WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, AEW, Impact, Indie Wrestling, support your local independent wrestling, folks. You can look me up on Twitter, nodq.com/Noah. Takes you to my Twitter page. You can talk to me. You can DM me. I'll talk to you guys about anything wrestling. Check out my series, 205 Live Match, where I review the Cruiserweight division and 205 Live every week. Sometimes with this guy, sometimes with other people, sometimes myself. You'll find it on my YouTube channel under youtube.com/users/NoahFox210, or you'll find it on NoDQ.com. Go follow the YouTube channel, Aaron Riff NoDQ on YouTube. You'll find that series there. You'll find the series that this guy's also part of too, What's NXT with Stephen and Jerry, and the NXT UKT party with Stephen and Jerry. Find other stuff there too, reviews, panels, live chats, you name it. Everything's there. Trivia, challenges. Go check out our playlist and Spotify. #TeamNoDQ. Over 5,000 songs. I still can't believe that's a thing. Go buy a shirt. NoDQ.com/shirts. And as always, folks, support your wrestling outlets both big and small. It is going to be an insane week for WrestleMania. Stay tuned. And let's keep growing this wrestling community together. Simple as that.
All right, and as for me, obviously you can check, like Noah said, check out this channel, Wrestling Rundown. Gonna try to do some Lucha Underground Season 2 reviews. It's just been way too busy, so hopefully that can happen this week. Me and Chris are trying to do MLW reviews. We're gonna try to do one either Friday or maybe sometime over the weekend. Retro Wrestling Review Series Thursday. No, it's Noah's pick this week, so you gotta watch it for Noah's pick, if not anything else. WrestleMania 23. And if you want to know why Noah picked that show, you have to tune into that video. So, Noah, you have to have a reason you picked that show. So let's see what the reason is. So, and then sometime over the weekend, we're gonna do Retro Wrestling Review Series, NXT Takeover Brooklyn. And also another Wrestling Rundown episode where that won't be one, and that's going to be 2 hours because we can't fit enough time to do 2 days on the weekend, so we don't have a choice. Hey, our show is less longer than WrestleMania, so if you guys can watch an 8-hour, if you can watch an 8-hour WrestleMania, you can watch a 2-hour video of me, Noah, and Chris. So, and then what else? Oh, CM Brothers. Me and Chris are doing a March Madness series on there, one a day. One of them's gonna be 2 a day because he couldn't do it today because he's busy today. So we're gonna do 2 of them tomorrow. You'll like the topics, Noah. One of them's gonna be why we like wrestling. So that's episode 1. You'll like that one. Episode 2, this is a topic. It's gonna be colors. We're gonna talk about colors. So you'll like that, Noah. Us just talking about colors. So I don't even think you're going to watch that one, but we'll see. Yeah.
You never know. Easy listening.
Hey, it's something you know about at least, colors. So,
I mean, who doesn't know about colors? But moving on.
And then check out the Owen the Talkinator YouTube channel. Friday and over the weekend, we're going to watch Breaking Bad and just try to binge watch the crap out of that and finish it, hopefully. But, that's TBD. We're probably not going to squeeze that in if we're doing this show and Virtual Wrestling Review Series, but we are going to try to get all the way from 9 to episode 11, so that way you guys can enjoy that, and maybe get like a movie Monday review up. So we'll see. It just all depends on how much. There's only a certain amount of time a day, so you can only get certain things done. So we'll find out. But that's pretty much it, guys. We will talk to you guys later. Oh, hold on.
Good night, folks.